Hello, my name is Jasmine Osborne, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Decided to continue it, and I'm not completely regretting that yet, so we'll see. But, anyways, as a follow-up to my Oscar nominations video, I thought it was only fitting to do a Best Movies of 2024 video. Well, not best, my favorite. Because, there's other movies that are probably better, but I don't care about that. I don't want to do objectivity. I am going with my own opinions, because that's what matters to me. I want to share my own opinions and movies that I think you guys would genuinely like. It was going to be 10, then 20, then 30, but then I cut it down to 25. So, yeah. For a few honorable mentions for movies that I think are deserving of a watch, but just not quite as great to reach the 25 for me. Dune Part 2, y'all have probably all seen that. That is a great movie. I have my issues with it as an adaptation, but it is a very good movie. Great on a technical level. Chicken for Linda is an underrated animated movie about a mom just trying to get a chicken to make her daughter some dinner. And it's very sweet, very funny. Incredibly well animated, great music. I wish that got some attention at the Oscars, but Problemista, a very creative movie about immigration, about a kid immigrating to America, and Tilda Swinton gives a fantastic performance, as always. She's one of my favorite actors. The new Wallace and Gromit movie, Vengeance Most Foul, was a ton of fun. I love Wallace and Gromit. Lisa Frankenstein was a very, very funny directorial debut from Zelda Williams, daughter of one of my favorite people ever, Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. And yeah, it had some issues with the direction, but it was very well paced and a great comedy. And the last honorable mention I want to bring up is one of my dad's favorite movies of the year, Saturday Night, about the first ever Saturday Night Live. Very, very funny, very chaotic, very hectic. I do think it ended a little too abruptly, but the performances were awesome. So. And some good music, and yeah, that was a good one. Although it doesn't quite make my list, sorry, Dad. But anyways, to get on to the actual list, at number 25, we got The Apprentice, the movie about Donald Trump. Does a really great job fleshing out the character of Donald Trump and of Roy Cohn, the guy who kind of made Trump into who he is today. Spoiler alert, very anti-Trump here, but don't want to get too into that, but yeah, very well shot. Music was pretty good, a little repetitive at points, but some really good music, great editing. I forget who the actress who played his wife was, but she did a really good job. I originally didn't like it too much, but after thinking about it and after giving it a rewatch, it was a very dark and not super disturbing, but kind of messed up how that man is still alive and still doing the stuff that he's doing. So not a pleasant watch, and definitely will probably be a mixed bag for most people, but a very great movie. And I'm glad it got some acting Oscars, because the performances from Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong were great. I would not be mad if either of them won, even if they're not my favorites for the Oscars, but this isn't just about the Oscars. But yeah, just number 24 is going to go to Juror Number 2. Movie about a man played by Nicholas Hoult, who is a juror, and then he realizes he has his own personal involvement with the case. I'm not going to spoil that, but it's an amazing concept, done very well. Again, paced weird. The middle is a little too slow and sometimes a little too fast, weirdly enough. But Nicholas Hoult gives an awesome performance. J.K. Simmons does an amazing job. Nicholas Holt's wife character is great. I could probably, honestly, maybe drop this down a bit, because thinking about the pacing is a little but the performances I do think are fantastic. And there is some good there's some good music, some good editing. Great, yeah. Clint Eastwood at 94 is still a great director. And yeah, just actually no. With the ending of this, yeah, I stand at 24. That's a wonderful ending, a nice abrupt ending that is really awesome to me. Yeah, it's a great movie. Not as passionate as some of the other movies on this list, but it is wonderful. It's great. Obviously, I'm talking about it on this list. But for number 23, we got The People's Joker. This is a weird one. It is an independently made movie by a trans woman by the name of Vera Drew, and it's about a transgender female version of the Joker finding her identity and her place in the world. And it's weird. It's got a lot of, like, I think you should leave with Tim Robinson type humor and, like, Tim and Eric type humor, if you guys know any of that. And it's very funny, very weirdly presented, very oddly edited, and weirdly emotional. Like, it touches on things of the trans identity that really, I didn't cry, but I got emotional while watching it, which I did not expect. It did not look like an emotion movie, but it got me in a few moments. I can't lie. Very amateur, well, not amateurish. There's clearly comprehension of style, but you can tell it's micro budget. I would love to see what she could do with, like, a bigger budget and maybe a little bit more of a focus, because it is very scattershot and weird, which I do like, but that'll be very, that a lot of people will not like this movie. A lot of you guys probably wouldn't, but I would highly recommend it, especially if you're trans. It's a weirdly heartfelt movie, despite how weird it is. Number 1E2 is going to go to Sing Sing. Mentioned this in my Oscars video about the penitentiary Sing Sing. It's a musical set there, and I don't got much else to say that I didn't say there. Great performances from Coleman Domingo and the rest. The music is fantastic. The original song, Like a Bird, I still hope wins the Oscar. It is a great, beautiful little song. Very sweet, but also it's got its moments of heartbreak. It's a very powerful movie. I don't love it as much as some people are saying, but it's a really touching and unique little musical type, kind of musical type movie. It's real good. I would highly recommend it. Yeah, great movie. Number 21 is going to go, just out of the top 20, is going to go to A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie. I do love this. I have a ton of fun with it. But if it wasn't about Bob Dylan, it would not be very good. To me. It's carried on my love for Bob Dylan and those great performances. Because, yeah, this is basically just Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash biopic, but with Bob Dylan. And I do think the narrative told is better, but it is very similar. I mean, they're directed by the same guy, James Mangold, and yeah, the direction is good, but nothing special. The editing is also nothing special, but the songs are used very well. The story is told pretty well. The performances are genuinely fantastic from everyone involved. Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash. I know I made a joke about that in my last video, but he does a genuinely great job. Timothy Chalamet does a wonderful job as Bob Dylan. I would not be mad if he won. Everett Norton was great. Monica Barbaro was great. Everyone just did a great job. And while it is a little bit of a quote-unquote guilty pleasure, it's not a guilty pleasure, it's a genuinely good movie, but I'm rating it a little higher than I probably should. It probably would, realistically, it might not even be on the list if I was going by pure abject quality, but I don't care about that. Personally, I love it. One of my favorite theater experiences I've had in a while with my friends, and yeah, I thought this was a great movie. A ton of fun. I would highly recommend it. It's safe, but it's fun as hell. Number 20 is going to go to Nickel Boys. Also talked about this one. Great adaptation of a great book. Very haunting. Incredible cinematography. I didn't mention that enough. The cinematography in this movie is fucking mind-blowingly good. It should have gotten nominated for that. Great direction. Wonderful performances. Yeah, I'm not as I don't have a lot to say because I don't want to spoil it. It's about, I forget the name of the real life penitentiary, but a penitentiary that was really screwed up for the children there. And yeah, it's very depressing, but very expertly made. Yeah, just I don't have a shitload to say. Just very great haunting movie if you like stuff like that. Number 19 is going to go to Black Box Diaries, a documentary on a Japanese woman investigating and trying to solve and get justice for her own sexual assault because the Japanese police will not take her seriously. It goes into great detail about how the Japanese police just don't give a shit about her story and just don't want to help her. And it's very honest in that way. It's very personal and very depressing. But like I said in my previous video, she expertly crafts it. She does a great job at like really presenting the documentary well, not just telling the story, which is something I like. Obviously, if she just told her story, that would be fine. The story needs to be told. But the fact that she went above and beyond to make it like an actually expertly presented documentary, it just adds to the experience of it being great from a narrative and from a presentation standpoint, which I love in any movie, but documentaries especially, because it takes a little bit for me to get hooked on a documentary. And yeah, this is one of the best of the year. There's one I'll talk about in a little bit, but it's a wonderful documentary. Please watch it. It is depressing, but it highlights some very real issues in our world that need to be discussed more, in my opinion. But number 18 is going to go to Drive Away Dolls. Made by one of the Coen brothers, Ethan Coen. Very, very fun movie. It's a lesbian road trip movie where the two girls traveling find out that they have cartel stuff pretty much in their car, and it's very weird, very goofy, but wonderful performances from Margaret Qualley and who was the other girl? I keep forgetting, but great performances. Wonderful comedy. A very funny movie. The soundtrack for the movie is great. They use a lot of great licensed like old rock songs that are great, but not like ones that you'll think of off the top of your head. Yeah, very great. Fun. One of the funniest movies of the year for me. Very entertaining. A little underrated. I've seen a lot of people give shit to it. I think it's really good. It ain't a masterpiece, but it's a ton of fun for a fun little road trip comedy movie. I would highly recommend it. Please watch it. Number 17 is going to go to Kinds of Kindness, the newest movie from Yorgos Lanthimos, director of movies like The Favorite, The Lobster, and 2023's incredible Poor Things. One of my, which I have mentioned in this video and to pretty much everyone I know, is one of my favorite things ever. That has become one of my favorite films of all time. Is a masterpiece. Going into this, I knew to try and temper my expectations because, this isn't Poor Things, but Poor Things only came out like 7 months beforehand, so it was like, I still had that little bug in my brain of Poor Things. But this is a great movie. This is excellent. Jesse Plemons gives 3 fantastic performances, because this is an anthology movie, 3 different stories, but with all the same actors, and Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone, Margaret Qualley, Willem Dafoe, Hong Chow. They all give great performances throughout the whole movie. Every segment's great. The last one, the third one, being my favorite. My only real issue is the end of the second segment is very confusing. And I like confusing, but I still think they could have done just a little bit to kind of foreshadow what it really was. Like, it doesn't seem... I'm still a little confused as to what they really meant by that, but other than that, all the segments are great. The music from Jerskin Fendrix, composer of Poor Things, which is my favorite film score of all time. Not as good as Poor Things, but still wonderful. One of the best scores of the year. Didn't get any attention from the Academy, but, we needed freaking Wicked to get a nomination. But, yeah, just very great anthology movie. Great Lanthimos movie. I'm excited for Begonia coming out this year. I don't know when. I think it's in, July. But, yeah, can't wait to see what he does next. This was great. Yeah, wonderful movie. Number 16 is going to go to Flow, Latvian animated movie about a bunch of animals, the lead being a cat, exploring a post-apocalyptic world. Beautiful animation made from Blender, weirdly enough. I didn't even know that until recently, but it looks great. The sound design is fantastic. The sound design in Flow is some of the best for an animated movie I've seen in a while. It is some great, like, it's hard hitting. It feels like you're there. It's a great cacophony of noise that just really works. The music was fantastic. It was directed really well. This is a very small team. The director of this, he directed a movie called Away that came out a few years ago that he directed, wrote, produced, and animated his entire self on his own, composed his entire self. He did an incredible job with that. It's very flawed, but for it being one guy, it's amazing. And this is also Flow is also a very small team, and it's better, and it's very great. I'm glad this has gotten a lot of attention from people, and I think anyone would watch and love this. It's, it's got its peril, but it's also got a lot of sweet moments. I think anyone could watch and love this movie. This is probably the easiest one to recommend. This is the easiest movie to recommend to people, because I think literally anyone watching this would at least enjoy it a little bit. Yeah, please see it. Number 15, the only Best Picture nominee that I didn't see in my last video that I finally saw. I'm still here. To the comments telling me that I needed to see this and that the lead actress Fernanda Torres did great. You were right. She killed it. Her performance was fantastic. There were points where it took me, where I was kind of taken out and was like, wow, I don't know if I'm watching a movie right now. Obviously, being a little facetious, but great transformative performance from her. She did a wonderful job. The dad character in that movie and all the kids also do a great job, in my opinion. Story's very well told. I didn't even know it was really a I didn't know it was like a biopic on like a real person. I thought this was realistic fiction, but no, it's about a real person, and that reveal at the end was kind of a gut punch to me. But speaking of the end, there are like two different time skips, which was a little jarring. I think they could have done with only one. Personally, I do think the movie could have been trimmed down a little bit, but not by much. It was still very great, very emotional near the end. I was feeling the pacing a little bit, but it was great. The music was great. The cinematography is fantastic. Some wonderful, most mild spoiler, but there are some scenes that are shown through the recording of like an old 70s video camera, and it's some great stuff. Some wonderful looking cinematography. Yeah, this is a really great movie. My favorite of the international feature nominees. You guys weren't the people in my comments. You guys were not wrong. I'm Still Here is great. Fernanda Torres. I still do personally think I prefer Demi Moore and Mikey Madsen for The Substance and Anora respectively. But I would not be mad if Fernanda Torres won. She would be a great win. It's always great to see a foreign actress win. But yeah, wonderful movie. Did not disappoint. It was awesome. Number 14 is going to be the documentary I mentioned earlier, Sperm World. The documentary is about people trying to get sperm donations outside of the official channels. And there's a lot of very interesting people it interviews. The concept of that, like, I've never really thought about it, and it really sheds light on a very interesting topic that I knew nothing about, which is why I love when documentaries do that. They teach me about something that I didn't know before, and that's great. Super well shot. One of the most well shot documentaries I've seen in a while, and movies of the year. Incredibly well directed. Wonderful filmmaking all around. The music was great and never annoyed me at all. Very, very well paced. It never dragged for me. Yeah, this right here is the star of the 9 out of 10s for me. Everything else was like a high 8. This is a 9. This is a great movie. And yeah, best documentary of the year for me. I wish it got more attention. Not just from the Oscars, but from people. I think a lot of people would genuinely be fascinated by this. This is a very interesting, unique documentary to me. I would love for people to watch this. The director also made a movie called Some Kind of Heaven, which is about an old folks' home, and that's also a very emotional, great documentary. I do think this one's better, but Some Kind of Heaven is also great. If you like documentaries, please check Some Kind of Heaven out as well. And this, Sperm World. Great movie. For number 13 and 12, I'm covering both of these because they're made by the same guy. we got, in respective order for 13 to 12, Queer and Challengers by Luca Guadagnino. Both are excellent studies on some really weird characters. Daniel Craig in Queer is one of my favorite performances of the year. I wish he was getting more talk. He is fantastic in Queer. He does such a great job with his character. Queer is an adaptation of a William S. Burroughs novel. He also wrote Naked Lunch, which is one of my favorite David Cronenberg movie. Wonderful movie. But yeah, Queer is a very weird movie. It's not the romance it seems to be on the surface. It's a lot more than that. It's very weird. If you like disturbing, creepy stuff, or weird shit, then Queer is absolutely that. Challenger's a lot more grounded by comparison. It's about a tennis match between two people who do not like each other, and the three main characters it develops, the two guys and the girl that they've unfortunately lost their friendship over, is incredibly well done. Easily my favorite Zendaya performance. Josh O'Connor does an incredible job. Like, fantastic performances. But what really sets this over Queer for me is the filmmaking. The directing of Challengers is some of the best of the year. There's a POV tennis ball shot that a lot of you have probably seen. It's incredible stuff. The music by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, as always, they do a fantastic job. The editing is amazing. Like I just said, all the performances are great. The cinematography is great. Really captures a lot of great detail, like when they're sweating. It's some really great stuff. I'm surprised Challengers has been kind of forgotten about by the Academy and some other people, because it made such a splash earlier in the year, and it deserved it. It's not my favorite of the year like it was when I first saw it, but it is still a wonderful, excellent movie that I would highly recommend. And please watch it, and please watch Queer. Queer also got completely forgotten. Please watch that. That is another really, really strange, weird, but fun as hell movie to me. Number 11, just outside the top 10, is going to be I Saw the TV Glow. Very, very well shot. The cinematography is fantastic. I know it's a smaller movie, but it was A24. I'm surprised that it didn't get any attention at the Oscars. But, man, the cinematography is some of the best of the year. Not quite the best, but some of the best. It's incredibly well shot. And obviously that's not the only thing. The music is great, from the original score to the soundtrack that they got from people like Alex G, Phoebe Bridgers. Some great music. Very dreamlike, like fever dream-like pacing and presentation when it comes to the story they're telling, which is about these two teens who are watching this old 80s show that kind of begins to like seep into their reality in some way. Very weird. Very, like I said, fever dream. Like it feels like a freaking fever dream for the first like 2/3 of it. And the main thing that a lot of people know is it is an allegory for both autistic people and for transgender people. And that allegory is handled extremely well. It makes sense. The director, Jane Schoenbrunn, they are non-binary, and they capture the experience really well, especially in that ending scene that I will not spoil, but it was a pretty big gut punch. The lead actress was great, but my one complaint that keeps this out of the top 10, for the first half of the movie, the lead guy, Justice Smith, is, like, teetering. He's good in one scene and in the next scene. Good in one scene and in the next scene. Good, and just he's it's just that the other side characters and the girl around him are just so much better. By the ending, he kills it. He has a pretty, like I said, gut punch moment near the end. You'll probably know what I'm talking about once you watch this, if you have watched it. But he took me out of the movie a little bit. But everything else around him is fantastic, and he himself did a great job near the end. And he's a younger guy, so it's not a big deal. But he was my one gripe. Everything else was fantastic. It did. I don't think this is the trans bias hitting, but I just think it was an incredibly well made movie that happened to tell a great story that really will hit home for a lot of transgender and autistic people. I would highly recommend checking this out for anyone. It also just works as, like, if you like weird trippy stuff, it really works in that way. Some weird stuff. Great. Yeah, excellent movie. Y'all probably know that if you've seen it, but yeah, just would highly recommend, even though it doesn't reach the top 10, but what does reach the top 10, one of the most underrated movies of the year, not enough people talk about this one, Love Lies Bleeding, starring Kristen Stewart, another lesbian movie like Drive Away Dolls, but this one is a lot more darkly toned. It's a thriller. It's almost a psychological thriller at points. It's very, like, it's invasive. It just, the way it beats down the two main characters is extremely it's hard to watch at points, but I care so much about the two leads that I felt every moment of pain that they were going throughout the movie. Yeah, it's about a bodybuilder, and she ends up getting with a girl who runs a gym who has dark family connections to basically mob activity, and it explores that, and it's very disturbing to watch, but also very interesting to learn about these characters. Very well shot, extremely well shot. The cinematography is incredible. The best thing about this movie, other than the performances, the score by Clint Mansell is fantastic. He's the same composer as Requiem for a Dream or Black Swan, and he does such a good job, as always. He's one of my favorite composers of all time. He killed it with the score for this. I didn't mention this in my Oscars video. He deserved a nomination. He's never been nominated for an Oscar for any score ever somehow, even though he's done some of the best music I've ever heard in any movie. And this is no exception. This is some of the best, if not the best, music of the year. It's phenomenal stuff, and it drives the emotions of every scene that's in. It's fantastic. But yeah, the cinematography is also great. The directing and writing from Rose Glass, the director, is great. She is shaping up to be a pretty talented director. She also did Saint Maud a good few years back, and that was really good, but didn't quite have the oomph in the story department. This one definitely does. Yeah, great characters. The ending is a little... I don't quite know how I feel about the ending. The ending is a little weird. You'll know what I mean when you see it, but everything else around it I am unambiguously loving. And even, like, that's kind of like the penultimate scene to the ending, because the actual, like, ending, like, as the credits go by with what goes on in the background is very interesting to me. I love when movies do stuff like that, like have the end credits, like, go, like, come on to the ending while it's still going on in the background. Sorry if I'm not phrasing that right, but yeah, excellent movie, underrated as hell. Please watch it. I think y'all would genuinely love it. But yeah, number 9 is going to go to The Brutalist. Yeah, I talked about this a lot in my Oscar video, and this is just an extremely emotional, well-done story of the main character, Laszlo, trying to move on from the Holocaust and, like, build a new life and build a building because he's an architect. And yeah, after rewatching this again, yeah, the performances are still fantastic. Every performance is incredible. The music is fan-frickin-tastic as well. Some of the best music of the year. Like, yeah, that should absolutely win the Oscar, given what's nominated up against. That is some incredible music. Cinematography is great. The directing by Brady and writing by Brady Corbett are both fantastic. Yeah, my dad and I were actually talking about this last night. There is a scene in the middle where the character of Guy Pearce does something that is acknowledged at the end of the movie, but but despite it being a pretty significant thing that he does, it's not brought up too much. I would have loved for some subtle reactions from Laszlo, from Adrian Brody's character. I would have loved for some more development on that. You'll probably know what I'm talking about when you see it, but either way, every event is still very well dramatically built up to. Every scene has, like, you feel the emotions of the characters, whether they be positive or not. The development of every character is great. It's a very brutally honest movie about, like, what the characters want and how they treat each other. It is an excellent movie. I would highly recommend it again. Just an awesome movie from top to bottom, and I don't have much else to say. Sorry, I'm feeling a little tired at the moment, but so sorry if I ramble. But number 8 is going to be Memoir of a Snail. This is an Australian animated movie from the same director as the incredible stop-motion movie Marian Max, and this is, in my opinion, even better than Marian Max. It is about these two kids who lose their father and end up going into the foster care system, and it's incredibly weird and funny, like Marian Max was. Some very, like, strange, almost anti-humor type of humor, very weird and eccentric, but it works so well. The music is great. The voice acting from every character is fantastic. They're all very well developed characters. When you get an animated movie that develops the characters well and the voice acting is good enough, you almost forget that it's animated and you're just stepping into another world. I love when animated movies really delve deep into character emotions, and we'll talk about more higher on the list. But yeah, this is easily my favorite of the best animated feature nominees. It is fantastic. The story is very depressing, but it's got just enough hopefulness to it that it doesn't completely make you sad the entire way through. It gives you a little bit of hope to grab onto, and that's great. Wonderful ending. Every character is fantastic. Adam Elliott, the director, is a true visionary. I want him to make more movies. I know stop motion's expensive, but please make more movies. Your stuff is incredible. But yeah, this is one of the best movies of the year. And my third favorite animated movie of the year. We'll talk about the other two very soon. But number 7 is going to go to Nosferatu. Nosferatu is amazing. I've seen some people saying it's Robert Eggers' worst movie. No, it is not. I do think it's better than The Witch and The Northman. It's not The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is one of the best movies ever made. But it's his second best movie, in my opinion. Nosferatu is incredible. The cinematography is freaking mind-blowingly good. There's so many great shots. Like I mentioned, there's a snow shot that still burns into my brain. There's a shot on a boat where they head into the castle that's great. Hey, there's so many shots with fire, where the fire lights the scene, that are incredible. The performances are amazing. Lily Rose Depp gives one of the best performances of the year. Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok gives one of the best performances of the year. Again, Nicholas Hoult gives another great performance. I don't know if it's as good as juror number 2. Both are fantastic, but yeah, he killed it this year. But yeah, the directing was insane. The screenplay was fantastic. The score, this is my favorite film score of the year. I'll say that. The music is amazing. I've listened to it outside of the film on a few occasions. It's some wonderful stuff. I love the music in this movie. It was some incredible stuff. A very great horror movie. A wonderful horror movie. One of the best horror movies I've seen in years. And yeah, this deserves all the praise it's gotten, and then some. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't got much else to say. If y'all have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and if you haven't, and you love horror movies, then I think you'll love this. It maybe not. It seems to be a mixed bag for some people, but I love this movie to death. Please check it out. I love it. Number 6 is going to it's hard to keep this one in the top 5 because I've been hyping it up all year to everyone I know, but it's going to go to A Different Man. A Different Man, the only reason it's not in the top 5 is just because I love the other 5 more. There's nothing wrong with A Different Man, really. It's fantastic. It's an incredibly unique story about a man with... What's the disease called? It's a very aggressive, like, skin disease where you have, like, a bunch of, like, welts and stuff on your face. It kind of like the Elephant Man, if you know what the Elephant Man looks like. It's kind of like that. And it's about him getting that cured, but then he meets another guy with the same condition who doesn't want to get it cured. And there's an incredibly interesting dynamic between the two characters. Sebastian Stan does an incredible job, and Adam Pearson does. They both play off each other so well. The leading lady also does an incredible job. The character dynamics and the interactions are often really funny, but also have a disturbing edge to them when you think of the when you see the main character's mental state in context with everything. Very weird. Very, like, there's a lot of strange moments, especially near the end. But, yeah, incredible performances. Great score as well. Incredible music. The cinematography is also very claustrophobic in some ways, but really works with the film. The makeup is fantastic. The makeup is absolutely incredible in this movie. Part of me wants it to win at the Oscars, but yeah, just an amazing movie overall. Very underrated. And I would highly recommend you guys check it out. It was A24. I believe it's A24 who distributed this, and they did not do a great job marketing it, because I genuinely think a lot of you guys would love it. It is a great, creepy in many ways film, but I love it to death. And yeah, please go watch it if you haven't. I would highly recommend it. And number 5, we're in the top 5 now. My second favorite animated movie of the year, Look Back. An adaptation of a manga by, I forget his first name, but Fujimoto, the author of Chainsaw Man. I've not read the manga. Well, I read it after watching this. The manga's great, but yeah, this hit me like a freaking truck watching it. It was incredibly emotional. The animation is phenomenal. There's an anime movie I like more than this. We'll get to it, but the animation is the best of the year. It is incredibly fluid and expressive. There's little subtle movements that the characters make that I love. The facial expressions are some of my favorite I've ever seen. The music is phenomenal. The score is just amazingly done and well mixed into the movie. The sound design is incredible. There's many quiet moments, like hauntingly quiet moments that work very well. Perfectly paced. It's a 60-minute long movie, if that, and it doesn't feel a minute too short or a minute too long. Everything is perfectly paced, even though it takes place over a long period of time in universe. It all feels perfectly paced. Very emotional. And admittedly, on my second watch, I did cry while watching this movie. It got me, man. I won't lie. Reason I say second and not first watch is because the only issue with this movie is because mini rant. When I first watched it, I was watching it with my friends, and one of my friends, Sarah, doesn't like subtitles, so we watched the dub. And in the opening and in the beginning scenes of the movie, there's a kid who says, "This is the most mild spoiler." There's a kid who says, "Wow, your art is mid," and I'm just hearing "mid" in that movie just took me out so hard. The voice acting in the first leg of the dub is a little rough, but it evens out near the end and is fantastic dub voice acting at the end. But I prefer the sub. The sub keeps the dialogue in its original state pretty much, and the voice acting is a lot better. As great as the dub voice actors are, the voice acting is insane in the sub. But yeah, amazing movie, wonderful in every way. I love it to death. This is one of my favorite animated movies of the decade, and you know what? Even though that does make for 5, I think I am going to bump this one up to a 10 out of 10. I do feel a little bit weird having 5 10 out of 10s in one year, but I think I'm willing to do it because I don't have much wrong with this, and I do love it to death. So yeah, we're in 10 out of 10 territory. And number 4, this one, I know some people will think I'm... Again, it's not perfect, but I love it so much. Number 4 is Hundreds of Beavers. The movie I've watched the most this year. Technically, you could say it released in 2023, but it has wide release this year, and I've seen it like 10, 15 times. Once in theaters not too long ago, and that was an incredible theater experience. That's what prompted me to bump it to a 10, because it is the funniest movie of the decade so far. And probably one of the top 10 funniest movies I've ever seen. It is hilarious. The production value, even though it was only made for like $130,000, the production is insane. The costumes are great, if goofy, but they're meant to be. The gags are incredible. There's not a single gag that doesn't even make me just chuckle a little. There's some great running gags. The comedic performance from the lead, Ryland Brixton Cole Twos. He does an incredible job. Everyone acting as the Beavers does a great job. The merchant's daughter is very funny in the movie. The merchant himself is very funny. Has a funny running gag with him spitting. You'll know when you see it. But yeah, incredibly hilarious. Incredibly well done. Very well shot. Very well edited. Extremely well paced. It's like 100 minutes long, and yet it doesn't really drag at all. It's just a perfectly paced comedy to me, and I think I do think this is genuinely up there with with stuff like Clue, Monty Python films, as one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's amazing. It's weird, but I would highly recommend it. Watch it with a crowd. Watch it with your friends. It's incredible. It's so much fun. And yeah, but number 3 is going to go to Anora. Anora is a film about a sex worker getting married to the son of a Russian oligarch. And it is incredibly funny. This is the second funniest movie of the year. Yeah, this is behind Hundreds of Beavers, the funniest movie of the year, because there's a lot of great comedy, especially in the middle of this. It almost becomes kind of a screwball comedy with how with the situations the characters get in, but it's still grounded and realistic, and you still really feel for any of the characters, but especially the main character by Mikey Madsen. Honestly, with the exception of one person we'll talk about with the exception of Sebastian Stan in A Different Man, and someone we'll talk about in a second, she gives my favorite performance of the year. She does such an incredible job portraying this character. Sean Baker, the writer and director, does a great job writing trashy characters, and she does that vibe so well. Annoying in universe, but not annoying but like intentionally so. She intentionally is trying to piss off people. She's never annoying to the audience to me. She is very fun to watch. She is one of her character of Anora is one of the best characters I've seen in a while, and the husband himself does a great job. The guys going after them do a great job, especially Yura Borisov, who plays the character of Igor. He does an amazing job. He gives another one of my favorite performances of the year. The soundtrack is used incredibly well. Every licensed song is great. The cinematography is amazing. The editing is amazing. There's not a lot to say that I haven't said in my last video, and I haven't said to all my friends pretty much ad nauseum. It's an amazing movie. One of the best movies of the decade. And I'm glad this seems to be the one that'll finally get Sean Baker some flowers. I hope this gives him a lot more attention, because I do think this is probably my favorite movie of his. Still love the Florida Project and Red Rocket, but this is amazing. This is one of the best movies I've seen in a while. And we're only at number 3. Now, through this, you'll probably... obviously hasn't been edited yet, but you'll have seen that I've been doing posters, to show what movies are on. But I don't need to do that for these two because I actually already own them on Blu-ray. For number 2, we have Mars Express. My favorite animated movie of the year. My favorite animated movie of the decade. One of my favorite animated movies of all time. Actually, I'm just going to hold it up. This is a French animated sci-fi movie that is... I know other people have said this, but it's basically animated Blade Runner and Chinatown, which, as someone who loves Blade Runner 2049 and Chinatown, that is a match made in heaven. And yeah, the sci-fi concepts in this are incredibly creative. The animation is fan-freaking-tastic, very fluid, very subtle little background details, like you'll see a little mini trail of blood get left behind, but it doesn't. But the camera doesn't draw attention to it. But you can still see it. There's just so much to dissect in every frame. Animation wise, the characters are extremely well developed. The music is fantastic. I don't want to spoil it because this is the most underrated movie of the year. I doubt many of you have even heard of this, but this is a genuine triumph for the realm of animation. For me, this is going to be one of those landmark movies. This is up there with stuff like Lion King or Toy Story, a landmark movie for me. This is an amazing, masterfully done film that I really want you... If anything, if you take anything from this, please watch Mars Express. It's only 86 minutes. It's very short, very sweet, very weird, but incredibly, yeah, it's just very well done. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but I love this movie. This is one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. It's definitely one of my favorite animated movies, but also maybe one of my favorite movies, straight up. But as great as this is, there is one that is over it. And I've mentioned it, and I've mentioned it, and I've mentioned it. And I'm going to continue to mention it because I love it to death. And that movie, my favorite of the year, and one of my favorites of the decade, is The Substance. Y'all probably know this. This is everything. All from 5 to now are what I want out of movies. And in a way, all of these movies are, but this especially is just... This is a triumph. This is a movie that when I first saw it, I was like, damn, I've been waiting for this my whole life, and I didn't even know it. It's an incredible body horror movie with great satire. It's not subtle at all, don't get me wrong. It is definitely not subtle, but it's so unsubtle that but it's not annoying. It feels like the movie is angry about what it has to say, and I love it for that. The themes of misogyny and of workplace discrimination, in a way, for age is extreme. They're extremely well done. The music is phenomenal. There's songs that they take from movies and from other places. Like the song "Pump It Up" is commonly associated, and it's incredibly well used. The acting is amazing. Sebastian Stan, Mikey Madsen, and these two are tied, and the other one out there is Demi Moore in this movie. Demi Moore is an incredible lead. Actually, no, I'm going to add a fourth, because Margaret Qualley is just as good. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley give two of the best performances of the year and the decade. They are amazing in this. They do such a great job portraying these characters and their struggles and everything they're going through. And the way that, even though they barely interact, they have a lot of conflict with each other, and it's amazing stuff. And yeah, the production design is amazing. The cinematography is maybe the best of the year. I think it is the best of the year. It's the best directed movie of the year. It's incredible what Coralie Farage, I learned how to pronounce it better now, is able to do with this. This is only her second movie, and I am so glad that she made this. She is I want her to make some more stuff like this. She genuinely seems like a visionary. I think she may even be able to top this one day, but we don't know. But either way, this is easily my favorite film of the year. Well, not easily. It's a little tough, but very few movies leave me sitting in the theater for like 3 minutes and then getting out in like a trance state because of just how ethereal it felt. Not like an actual fever dream, but this movie throws so much stuff at you that it floors you by the end. It's genuinely, it's a lot, and a lot of people probably wouldn't like it, especially if you don't like horror movies, but it's a lot more than that. It's again, great satire, great humor, very funny at many points. Dennis Quaid gives easily my favorite performance from him. He does an incredible job. But yeah, I don't have too much to ramble about anymore. But yeah, this is my favorite movie of the year. And that's saying something in what has been a pretty incredible year. Not every movie was great. Shout out, I was going to mention this in the beginning, but shout out to Jerry Seinfeld's Unfrosted for being the worst movie of the year. I've talked about some great comedies in this list. That's not one of them. That's one of the most unfunny movies I've seen this decade, maybe of all time even. I hate that movie, but there's been some stinkers, but the movies I loved, I really loved. There's a lot of great stuff. There's other stuff that I was thinking of talking about, but like I said, I had this at 30, but I cut it down, and I'm happy with what it cut down to, and I'm happy with everything that came out. Yeah, every bit of these movies has made me very happy to be a film fan, and even though times are getting kind of tough when it comes to film, there's a lot of anti-art practices going around. Stuff like these, movies like these, experiences like these, like these and all the other ones I've mentioned, make me think that things are going to be okay, because there are still so many artists who are willing to push boundaries and make strange but captivating or depressing or whatever type of movies. There are still people willing to put their heart and soul into some pretty risky but overall incredible projects that end up becoming masterpieces. And it really inspires me as an aspiring director and writer, and maybe actress, but I don't know about that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This one might be a little more unfocused than the last one, because I didn't really write a script. I just wrote down a list of movies and wanted to sing my heart out about a lot of them. These are all great. I would highly recommend you all check them out. There's some wonderful stuff. There's other movies that I didn't mention, but just check out whatever you like. You don't have to check out any of these. Love what you love, hate what you hate, disagree with what you disagree with me. These are all just my opinions at the end of the day. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm hoping to have more of a. I'm hoping to get out of the list format within my next few videos, maybe. I am thinking of one of my next videos being about the importance of film scores in movies. You've probably heard me talk about them a lot in my last two videos, and I do think that film scores are extremely important. I would love to illustrate why music is so important to a movie and why it can ruin a movie if bad. And yes, if you want to see that, or if you want to give any other ideas, you can. I'll probably ask some on my Instagram. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support on my last video. I had some wonderful reactions from that. People really seemed to enjoy it. But yeah, just thank you very much. Thanks again to my friend Calibi for helping me do this and giving me the motivation to do this. And all of you guys for watching. Yeah, sorry if I'm a little rambly. Please give feedback in the comments if there are things you want me to improve on, because I do want to improve. But yeah, just thank you guys. Hopefully 2025 is another great year for movies. In 2 weeks, I'll be seeing Mickey 17, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.